We understand that the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has been unable to meet the 300 million naira bail and would therefore remain in prison. Despite attempts by his legal team, the former CBN governor has not been released. Emefiele was recently arrested for allegedly breaking Nigerian procurement laws. His strict bail requirement has proven to be a significant barrier to his release. Meanwhile, Emefiele supporters contend that the bail sum is excessive and could be an attempt to weaken his financial standing. However, others opposed to Emefiele's contend that the charges are severe enough to warrant punitive legal measures. The severity of the charges against Emefiele is demonstrated by the court's decision to uphold the high bond requirement. The Federal Capital Territory High Court has also adjourned the case till January 18, 2024 for the continuation of the trial in the alleged procurement fraud suit against the former Central Bank governor. To discuss this, we're joined by Omare, a legal practitioner. Thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Talk to us about the legal considerations or precedents that typically determine the bail amount in cases involving alleged procurement fraud, and what likely factors might the court have taken into account in setting the bail at that amount for Godwin Emefiele?
Generally, bail is at the discretion of the court, but it has its foundation under our Constitution. Under our Constitution, any person that is accused of committing an offense is deemed to be innocent until it is proven guilty. So it is on that basis that bail is granted to an accused person or defendant, as the case may be. However, the power to grant bail is at the discretion of the court. And the court, in exercising that discretion, takes into account several factors and depending on the nature of the case. In some cases, the court could consider that if this man is granted bail, it may interfere with the investigation, further investigation of this case. So the court may decide to grant bail or grant based on some conditions. In other cases, the court may consider that if this person is granted bail, it may not be available to face his trial. That's why in some cases you see that the court will say it's an international passport or some other movement restrictions. Now, in the case of Godwin Emefiele, the charges against him is a violation of procurement laws. A sum of 300 million naira has been imposed as a bail bond. But let me make this point. When a bail bond is imposed, it doesn't mean that you need to pay that money. What it simply means is that the surety must provide materials that, in case if the person jumps bail, the government, as a case with the prosecuting agency, will be able to fall back on the surety to provide that bail bond. That is what it means. It doesn't need to necessarily provide that money. Perhaps the challenge Godwin Emefiele has is to get somebody who will stand as surety with that bail bond. So he has options that he can explore. Perhaps some will get there, who will look at that. But basically, the court may have taken into account several factors having regard to the nature of the offense, the personality, and other factors in imposing that bail condition.
All right, given the contention over the bail amount being excessive and potentially affecting Emefiele's financial stability, what legal avenues or arguments might his defense team pursue to challenge the bail requirement, especially considering the concept of proportionality in setting bail conditions?
Well, when a bail condition is deemed to be excessive, the person that is granted bail has options. One of the basic options is what we call an application to vary the bail terms. So Emefiele's lawyers, they know very well, they are competent lawyers, I know some of them. I'm very sure that perhaps we explore that option of applying to the court to vary the bail conditions so that they can be easily met.
All right. Regarding the severity of the charges against Emefiele, could you shed light? Okay, I think the network actually cut you off, but let me just add this to the question, and then you can continue and conclude with it. I'm asking regarding the severity of the charges against the former CBN governor, could you shed light on the legal framework or specific elements that might have influenced the court's decision to uphold the high bond requirement and likelihood of such decision being reversed or modified during subsequent hearings?
Well, the nature of the offense is a consideration, and also the personality involved is also a consideration as per his ability to whether if granted bail on stringent conditions that will enable the trial to go on, or some other related factors. Now, as to whether the times will be, how they impact on future trial, like I said earlier, they can go back to the court for variation of the terms, and if it is denied, they can go on appeal. But the only danger here is that if they go on appeal, it may take a longer period to resolve the issue of appeal. So I think the easiest option to take is to go back to the court to vary the terms of bail. And in any case, the essence of granting bail or giving conditions for bail is not to punish the defendant. But what is most important is for the defendant to be available to face his trial. That is the most important consideration in a bail application. So I think that when his lawyers go back to the court and the court takes into account all the circumstances, they may or they may not vary the terms. But above all, the most important thing is for Mr. Emefiele to be available to face his trial at the end of the day.
Eric, thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you for having me.